I grew up thinking that what my mom did was normal for a journalist. It's what a journalist should do: investigate, be persistent, be honest, break new ground in your reporting and your opinion writing, say things as they truly are. So I never grew up thinking that it would come to this, that my mom would be murdered for what she did, and that then after that there would be this European prize given in her name in recognition of her work. But now, I mean, having lived through the past almost 3 years, and seeing the harassment, the abuse accelerate both before the murder and the kind of attempts to defame my mother continue after her murder, the prize became really important to my family, and I think to many other journalists, because it would kind of put a stop to that and say, no, Europe isn't just going to sit by and watch a journalist's reputation be destroyed after her murder. It is going to support her work, if not before her murder, then perhaps afterwards. And I think that this prize kind of gives my mum that support that she perhaps deserved in her life, in that, and it also, I guess, sends a signal to journalists who continue to do the same kind of work that my mom did, that Europe learned a lesson from this, and we're going to do our best to make sure that it doesn't happen again. One, by changing systems of governance, and two, by recognizing the kind of journalistic work that my mom did. What do I want more than my mom not being forgotten? It's for European society and systems in Europe to change permanently. So yes, it's really important to us that this prize carries my mother's name, but I guess it's one step towards Europe changing permanently, and that to me is more important, that we don't forget the lessons rather than not forgetting just the name.
I started pushing forward the creation of this prize. My motivations were twofold. First, I really believe that this European Parliament can do more to ensure the protection of journalists, and this prize is a small symbol of appreciation towards journalist work. And secondly, I do believe that the way that Daphne Caruana Galizia was murdered, to stop her from revealing further cases of corruption, was brutal. I think it was very brutal, and the European Parliament should continue honouring her name through this prize. It seems that journalists across Europe are eager to get further information on the details of the prize. How can they nominate colleagues? How does this process start? And a lot of other questions which are being asked at the moment. So I must admit that my expectations are high. I believe that this prize will push journalists to continue their investigations, to further reveal the truth, and not to stop when they are threatened. I hope that this is the only first step which we are taking to protect journalists. I will continue to provide journalists with better tools and to ensure that their legal rights, when faced with abusive practices, have to be protected. Our work on this is even more crucial now after we experienced 2 murders, the Daphne Caruana Galizia assassination, and of course that of Jan Kuciak and his partner. The Daphne Caruana Galizia Prize for Journalism focuses on European values, as does, of course, the Sakharov Prize. But we shouldn't stop with only these two prizes, our daily work here in Brussels and in Strasbourg should focus on such values. Values such as respect for human rights, freedom, democracy, equality, and of course, the rule of law.
I hope that it will show that there's a great concern for freedom of media, even in European Union member states, and that with this prize we can honor the work of important journalism, courageous journalism. Some of it can be investigative, but it doesn't have to be. And it will be journalism which is in line with the EU sort of fundamental rights and values. We didn't want to limit the award to EU citizens or EU-based organizations because it's a global world anyway, and we'll have to see. Many journalists today are working under extremely dangerous conditions, and some of them have lost their lives. The best known example personally I know is in 2006, Anna Politkovskaya, the Russian journalist who was my friend. I actually introduced her to the European Parliament already in 2003 when she was not that well known. She lost her life because of the work she did, and never the one who ordered her assassination had been put in front of justice. We were totally in agreement across the board that it needs to be an independent body, that it's not us politicians who will choose. So we will look for a renowned organization who represents independent journalists, and then it's their task to form the jury and select the candidates.